I'm sort of thinking to myself, what if this is the last video that I ever make? I'm about 1 week out from what will be life-changing surgery for me. Trying not to be too dramatic, but it literally will add probably another 10-15 years to what I already have as life expectancy. So that's in about a week's time. But it kind of causes me to become a little bit reflective. I kind of like doing that. I like actually confronting my own mortality a little bit and just reflecting on how I live my life. And so, but one of the things that I've found as I've been thinking a lot about my life, my past, your successes and your failures, and I don't know about you, but I think we tend to focus too much on the bad things that have happened in life and our failures, and we're all flawed human beings and we all make mistakes. But I'm sort of coming to the conclusion, it's a waste of time living with regret, isn't it? Don't you think so? Because all regret does is kind of make you keep wishing you hadn't done that thing, hadn't made that mistake, and you kind of feel bad about yourself, when yet, if you're alive, you've still got opportunities in life. You still have chances to turn those mistakes into lessons for future successes. The scripture says that a live dog is better than a dead lion. And you may see yourself as a bit of a failure, and you may regret all the mistakes you've made in life and what have you. But if you're alive, you have hope. Just picking up on that verse of the scripture about a live dog being better than a dead lion. In the last couple of years, I've seen quite a few very dear friends of mine pass away through tragic death and illness, and they were more talented than I was, and more gifted, and they had more to give, more to leave on this planet, and that really challenged me. But I'm also conscious of the fact that a lot of superstars, rock stars, movie stars, and what have you have tragically died. And but you know what? But we're still here, and it's the grace of God, and I think we need to keep living with that. I'm sort of thinking to myself, what if this is the last video that I ever make? What if? In a few days' time, I'll be having 5 hours of surgery. What if things go wrong? What if I don't survive? What if this is the last video I ever make? And the truth is, none of us own tomorrow, do we? We don't know for sure whether we'll have an accident or something will happen. I've heard of someone recently that died suddenly of a heart attack, and they seemed to be healthy and well, and so you never know, do you? And so, but what if this is the last video I will ever make? What would I say? What would my famous last words be? What would be the famous last words of David Ivor Palmer? And so as I conclude with my famous last words, You know, if these are the last words that I'm ever going to say, and I don't believe they will be, I think I've got a few decades left of some good videos to make and adventures and hopefully inspire and encourage people. But if it was the last thing that I was going to say, it's this: quit waiting for your life to start. My memory goes back to some years ago now, quite a long time ago, when my wife and I made our first trip to China. And we actually got to visit some children's centers there and see a collaborative work with the Chinese and Western organizations just to help some of the orphans in China. It was a desperate situation at that time, and I don't need to go into that. We all know about that. But I met a young woman there, and she'd been there for 1 year, 18 months, and she'd just been back home to her church in America, and was really excited about the changes it had made in her life. When she'd come to China, she'd made this decision to work as a volunteer in these orphanages and these childcare centers. It was a big deal and scary, and she was going to leave her comfort zone and leave her friends and family, but it changed her. It made her what she was. It built values into her life and compassion, and she went back to America excited, I guess, to share that with her friends. And when she went back to her church and her youth group, she discovered that many of those people hadn't changed. They were still doing the same things they did before, wasting their lives. And she said to me these words, and I'll never forget them, and I've built them into my own life and vocabulary. She said, if I could speak to the young people of America, this is what I would say: quit waiting for your lives to start. Stop living with regret. Forgive the people that have hurt you in your past. Don't live with a life blaming others for your reason for holding back. Don't do that. Deal with those issues in your life and be the person you were meant to be. You know, the Bible tells us that God causes all things to work together for good to them that love Him and are called according to His purpose. And once you make that connection with God, and I did when I was 21 years of age, just about to turn 21, and I found Christ, He began to take the things that were meant for evil in my life and He's turned them for good. And God will do that for you if you allow Him to do it, turning your failures, your regrets into lessons that you can build success in the future. So God bless you guys. I hope this inspires you. My famous last words, and quit waiting for your lives to start, and don't live with regret. The best is still to come.